Yo, what's up, guys? Joker here bringing you another video. This time it's going to be on Torchlight Infinite, my first actually currency video in Torchlight Infinite. So I am by no means a pro in Torchlight Infinite. I am rather newbie, right? But I figured I could still go ahead and put out a guide on essentially some currency making strategies that you can use in Torchlight Infinite. Some things that I've heard about, some things that I've tested and have had decent results, stuff like that. So, first things first, shout out to Gooba. He has a spreadsheet that he made that I'm borrowing and using for this test, right? It's going to show you my void chart, it's going to show you my build, and then it has drop downs for pretty much everything that I'm going to be tracking. Very well put together, so shout out there. This strategy is going to be a T7 boss hunt strategy. So pretty much we're going to be doing the Goddess of the Hunt boss rush strategy that you may or may not have heard of in Time Mark 7 maps. Essentially what it is we're taking majority of the Goddess of the Hunt nodes, and then we're going to be rushing straight to it. We're also taking some beacon stuff for sustain, and then we're taking the duplication of the star shards because they're pretty much 1 FE each. So if it duplicates, then it's just literally an additional free FE, right? We're going to be running it in Stillforge, Glacial Abyss, and Voidlands just because those are the beacons that I had the most of in Time Mark 7. I put an initial cost up here, right? As like if I were to buy these beacons, let's say you didn't have these beacons, the total cost for like these 100 beacons would have been around 71 FE. So we're going to use this as the initial cost to subtract from the total profit to see if like you bought in how much total true profit you would really have. And we are going to be tracking the beacon drops, snow paper, flame elementium, star shards, memory threads, and nether realm fragments. I forgot to show that on my void chart. We're taking these 8 points right here just to get snow paper because it is relatively free. And since we're rushing to the boss and like having a chance of duplicating the boss and stuff like that, this should give us a decent chunk of snow paper. I was going to test this in Time Mark 8, but I figured I'd go ahead and test it in Time Mark 7 first, since in the chat there's a lot of people that seem to be in Time Mark 7 still. So I figured I'd go ahead and test it there, and this could potentially be one of the strategies that you use to boost into Time Mark 8, right? Get you the FE you need to upgrade your character to be able to farm at Time Mark 8. But without further ado, we're going to be running an hour of this and see how it goes. Okay, so we're pretty much on what would be the last map, and I figured I'd go ahead and run it while I explained a couple of things. So, it took me way too long to realize that I was actually running this in 7.2 instead of just 7, so that was my bad. But honestly, you really shouldn't run anything on under 7.2 right now anyways. It's probably still definitely viable on 7.0, right? But if you can run the 7.2, I would definitely recommend it. As well as the other thing that I wanted to mention is my character is apparently a lot slower than I thought it was, because this is going to be, I want to say, the 46th or 47th map. And I know that there is a lot of people that are able to actually run hundreds of maps in an hour. So that's pretty demoralizing. But here we are on the last boss. Oh, cool. And we got a double. And then let's see if we can get the ghost to spawn too. Oh, and double ghost. That's pretty dope. And yeah, 48 seconds. We won't have enough time to run another map with 48 seconds. But if we go ahead and open up our bags and take a look, we have a lot of stuff that we need to break down. Honestly, probably none of these are worth anything. I'll go ahead and I'll look through them and see, but otherwise we're just going to recycle them. I'm pretty sure none of these uniques are worth anything. Yeah, nothing stands out. if we go ahead and take a look at the just raw drops, we've got 14 FE, we got 69 memory scraps, we got 736 snow paper, which is a lot, and then we got a bunch of other stuff. The original plan was to run all of the different areas, but I over sustained to a point where that wasn't even realistic. So we ended up just running a bunch of Glacial Abyss. So let me go ahead and see what we got in terms of profit. All right, so we went ahead and edited the spreadsheet a little more to include the initial cost, right? Because I went under the assumption that you were buying these beacons. So I went ahead and I subtracted that price from the total profit, and then I added some things to make it easier to multiply right here, right? The initial cost I see in hours, so you can change this to how many ever hours it took you, or you plan on running it for, or you ran it for, right? To see the cost. Now, the total profit after taking away the initial cost is still 200 FE essentially per hour, which is insanely good for a time arc 7 strategy, right? Now, one thing to take into consideration is, like I believe I previously mentioned, I accidentally was running it in 7.2, but that's the minimum that I really would recommend. And we have the breakdown of all the loot right here. The initial plan was to farm all of these star fragments, but because I over sustained to such a significant degree, like I started with 122 maps and I ended with 152 maps, right? So I over sustained a lot, seeing how I ran 45 maps. And then it took me on average 1.3 minutes per map to actually complete it. So you are going to have very differing results depending on like how fast you clear the maps and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this video was helpful and gives you a strategy to run. I'm going to try to make a couple more. I may try to actually just do this strategy in Time Mark 8 itself. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay up to date with this and future content. And until next time, take care.